Yeah. Oh, they want me for a pantomime. Oh, excellent. Which one? Dick Whittington. What part? The Dick. Yeah, I'll think about it.
We leave because it's a challenge.
Oh, marvelous.
Absolutely disgusting. What's right with it?
I do know what I'm not talking about.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's very well.
Hello, welcome to the show. I've had quite an eventful week this week. Moved out of my house, never mind why, into a little flat. Bit of a state, so I thought get a cleaner. And I saw a postcard in a newsagent's window. Blonde scrubber offers full service. Nothing too dirty, £75. So I thought, well, you know, a bit expensive, but if she's good, it's money well spent. So I arranged anyway for her to come round, and my word, she was a real pro. As soon as she got through the door, she was on her knees. Well, and I always thought that hiring cleaners was a bit extravagant, but now I can see why people splash out on them. Anyway, to cut a long story short, she's going to come every afternoon. Because the flat won't clean itself, you know. I'm blowed if I'm going to do it. So, let's go over now to Hugh Pugh and Fishguard. Hugh, what are you doing? Hugh, what are you doing? What are you...
I got a balloon.
That's the only balloon you got, is it, in Fishguard?
Yes. Suppose you got loads of balloons in Cardiff, haven't you? Balloon City.
Yeah.
And the biggest balloon of them all is you, Barry Welsh. I'm surprised you don't float out the window, you great big sausage of gas.
Why are you so rude?
It's quicker.
Just do the special report, will you? Oh.
Hello. The West Wales Tortoise Impersonation Society held a recruitment drive over the weekend in the hope of attracting new members. But with a full tortoise outfit costing up to £25,000, they could only find one person willing to shell out. They used to say that one of the worst things about being in hospital was the food. But that's all changed at St. Sardine's Hospital, Fishguard, where pioneering chef Lloyd Gross has put the patient's own organs on the menu. Here's Mrs. Thomas enjoying a nice grilled kidney, and she knows it's fresh because it was only removed from her this morning. With all the worries about BSE and salmonella, it's much safer for people in hospital to eat themselves. But I think I'd steer clear of the nuts. Fishguard's first Jewish pub is about to open. The bar Mitzvah will cater for drinkers of all religions, but during happy hour, only those who have been circumcised will get cut-price drinks. And finally, Hollywood legend East Clintwood was in town today to receive the freedom of Fishguard from Mayor of Fishguard, Mr. Kerry Twat. This great honour is in recognition of East Clintwood's contribution to Welsh culture, with films such as The Outlaw Josie Wales, and of course, The Good, The Bad, and The Swansea. I spoke to Mr. Clintwood after the presentation. Mr. Clintwood, you've just been given the freedom of Fishguard. Does this mean that you prefer Fishguard to Haverfordwest?
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, let me put it another way. People in Haverfordwest say that Fishguard has had it as a major player in world affairs. Do you think that Fishguard is on the way out?
No, I don't think it's on the way out. I just think that now they'll try to maybe modernize a little bit.
You mean electricity and proper sanitation and all that?
I think they're going to get away from the obvious cliches. You know.
Yeah, electric light would be a bit obvious, wouldn't it? And finally, Mr. Clintwood, do you think that you'll move to Fishguard now?
No, definitely not.
East Clintwood there, who will soon be moving to Fishguard.
Dave Daly and Dave Sinclair are volunteers with the Animal Rescue Squad, an organisation dedicated to rescuing and caring for animals in distress. They receive no funding or encouragement from local government or other animal welfare organisations.
Dave and Dave have been called to a house in Oak Lane to deal with a spider.
Are you the arse?
Yeah, what's the problem?
There's a spider.
All right. Let's have a look at it. Where is it?
In my underwear.
Okay.
Oh, no, it's your turn, mate. I got that crab out of the dog's rectum, remember?
All right. You just like to bend over the table. I've got to get that spider out of your knickers.
But it's not in the underwear I'm wearing. It's upstairs in the drawer.
Yeah.
That's all right, then.
Yeah, we get a lot of calls like this. It's a bit of a nuisance, but we don't mind turning out to reassure an old lady.
Yeah. None of the spiders in this country are dangerous.
Yeah, I bet this is the first time in a long while there's been any activity in your pants.
You're terribly brave.
No. He's a lot more scared of us than we are of him.
Jesus Christ! It's a Tasmanian bastard! It's a Tasmanian bastard! It's a Tasmanian bastard!
Stop being about everyone. I'm going to catch the spider like this.
What's a Tasmanian bastard doing in your pants? Where did you buy them?
I got them in the charity shop. I don't know where they were before that.
Well, wherever it was, you got one of the deadliest spiders in Australia in them. I'll tell you, one bite from that and you can find it.
I'm sorry, Dave. I missed him.
Oh, you got behind the wardrobe.
Okay. You should be all right in there. I don't think there'll be a problem.
No, I mean, you're a lot bigger than he is. You don't need to worry.
No, that's right.
Bye.
Oh. Yes. Come on, no. Come on. Come. Oh, wait. Come. Wait, come. Come on. Hey. Oh. No. Come. Oh. Wait.
Hello? A couple of years ago, I had all my teeth out. And I woke up after the general anesthetic, and I could feel something in my mouth. It was a pubic hair. And the dentist was looking very shifty. Then I noticed that my face was covered in spunk. And I thought, no wonder the dentist looks embarrassed, man. While I was asleep, I've sucked myself off. Wasn't until I got home that I realized it wasn't one of my pubic hairs. Makes you wonder what they teach him at dental college, isn't it? Good night.
Rescuing distressed animals is only a part of the work undertaken by the Animal Rescue Squad. Dave and Dave are also involved in the conservation of rare and endangered species.
What species are you hoping to attract to the centre of Cardiff?
Elephants.
Did you say elephants?
Yes, right, yeah.
See, a couple of 100 years ago, you wouldn't have been able to park anywhere around here because of herds of elephants gathering to drink at the waterhole over there by the supermarket.
We know that there's a small herd of elephants somewhere in the vicinity. We think they may be living at the top of Conway Road or possibly round behind the post office. We can't be certain.
But we are certain about one thing. We don't know where they are.
Have you ever seen the elephants?
We'd love to see them, but unfortunately we can't set up a 24-hour watch because we're busy men.
We could set up a hidden camera for you if you like.
Well, I don't mind saying that up till now I thought you were a complete
Yeah.
But actually that's a very good idea.
Can you set up the hidden camera now?
Sure, why not?
Hey, looks like we're going to see those elephants.
That's great!
A woman. A fuse box. A woman. A fuse box. A woman. A fuse box. Don't get them mixed up.
Welcome back. Welcome back. I've got a letter here. Dear Mr. Welsh, my husband passed away 2 months ago, and after a lot of thought, I decided to bury him. After the funeral, there will be refreshments at the house, and it would be nice if you could come round for a tongue sandwich and a cup of tea. I always feel better with something hot inside me. I do hope you will come. Yours sincerely, Mrs. Shattuck. Aged 83. Well, there we are. No, I'm sure it's all perfectly innocent. She's seen me on the television and she thinks of me as someone she can turn to at a sad time in her life. Oh, there's a little bit more here. P.S. Living in sheltered accommodation, I don't have much furniture, but if you don't mind, I'll sit on your face. Oh, Mrs. Shattuck, Mrs. Shattuck. You're 83, really. I'm not into antiques. Oh, dear. But, ladies and gentlemen, someone who is interested in antiques is our old friend, Geraint Pillock. Geraint? Oh, Geraint, there's something different about you. Oh, no, there isn't. Now, Geraint, you've actually asked Mrs. Shattuck to go out with you. Why do you want to go out with a woman of 83?
Mainly because it's a challenge.
Well, let's face it, Geraint, any woman would be a challenge for you, but this is a bit more than just a challenge, isn't it?
Another reason I got is because it has been done before.
Well, yes, I don't think you'll be the first, Geraint, I have to say. But what's it going to be like? I mean, you know, picture the scene. You've wined her, you've dined her, the lights are low, you're in the mood for love, she's still awake. Let's be realistic about this. I mean, how long is it going to take you just to get her pants off? I mean, you know.
Between 12 and 50 hours.
Oh, I can't believe you're going to go all the way with a woman at 83.
I will do it.
Oh.
Talking on a long-term view, I will do it. But I'm hoping to do it this first time.
Well, I don't think you'll get a second chance. Anyway, not at her age. Good luck, Geraint, because one of you is going to need it. Moving on.
Dave and Dave have returned to the high street to see if the elephants have taken the buns and hay.
Hi, Dave. Come have a look at this.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's definitely an elephant dropping. It's quite small, which suggests it was passed by a juvenile rather than an adult. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a definite smell of curry, which seems to suggest that what we've got here is an Indian rather than an African element.
Your camera work?
Yeah, fine.
Well, that's great. Let's get it back to house control and have a look at him. Hey, can I have a happy hanky, mate? Mate.
Oh. I went to the doctor quite recently and I said to him, "Doctor, I keep getting a burning sensation when I pass water." And he said, "Do you smoke?" I said, "Yes." He said, "You want to be more careful how you hold your cigarette." So I haven't got VD, which is good, because I got married on Saturday. Lovely wedding it was, although there was a bit of confusion when the photographer wanted to take a picture of family members and I got my knob out. It was a misunderstanding. And the bride looked absolutely stunning. And very sexy. She was wearing fishnet stockings with the fish still in them. Absolutely gorgeous she was. Apart from one little thing. She smelt very strongly of shit. But nobody's perfect. Good night. Good evening. A contest between Fishguard's Staring Club and their arch-rivals Haverfordwest Glaring Society had to be called off today when one of the contestants was found to have a glass eye.
He's cheating, innit? That's against the rules, that is.
The match will be replayed next week when Fishguard's Staring Club hope to see off their opponents. The Fishguard Manor hostage crisis, which started in the 16th century, has finally been resolved. After more than 500 years of tense negotiations, the hostages were released. The breakthrough came this afternoon, when it became clear that no one could remember why the hostages had been taken in the first place. You've all heard of Weather Girls, but Fishguard Town Council is offering something new. Weather Gulls. Yes, a flock of highly intelligent local seagulls has been trained to give weather information to tourists.
It'll be wet. It's gonna piss down.
If you've had a phone call recently, the chances are that it's been from Mr. Terryphone of Fishguard Telephone Club. He's keen to know how many people in Fishguard have got a telephone, and he's been ringing round to find out.
Hello, I'm here calling to find out if we've got a telephone. You haven't. Okay, thanks very much.
It's good to talk. Unless, of course, you've got something better to do. And finally, St. Sardine's Church, Fishguard, is set to attract pilgrims from all over the world with its newly acquired set of holy relics. The actual nails from the cross that Jesus Christ was crucified on and Christ's pipe are regarded by theologians as some of the finest religious artifacts ever seen. The vicar of St. Sardines, the Reverend V.D. Thomas, said that actually seeing the holy relics made him very glad that it was Christ that was nailed up and not him. The display can be seen in the church's pantry. Sorry, vestry.
Dave and Dave have joined Dave at Arse Control to watch the footage from the hidden camera. They're looking forward to seeing the elephants at last.
See, mate? What's going on? Who's he? Oh, he's putting the straw in his bag. He's nicking all our buns. Oh, I don't believe it. He's only having a shit. Unbelievable.
This is the Animal Rescue Squad. We really care about animals. Please leave a message.
Hello? I'm a bit worried about that spider again. He's gone...
Fuck! Ronald!
What have you done with the elephants?
I haven't done anything with them.
Don't get me that, you drongo! You've only got to scare them up with your hidden camera. Those elephants will be halfway to Swansea by now.
Do you drive a red Mondeo?
Yes.
Oh! Oh, mate! It's on fire!
I didn't bring it today.
He didn't bring it today!
Look forward to more animals in distress next week when Dave and Dave attempt to cure a centipede with athlete's foot.
I think your baby's been sick. Welcome back. Actually, I was just looking at a newspaper before I came on, and there was a headline in it about a plane crash, and it said, "Catalogue of errors led to disaster." And I was thinking, what was the pilot doing reading a catalogue while... Should have been flying the plane, yes. And why have a catalogue of errors in the cockpit in the first place? It's asking for trouble, isn't it? But I don't want to worry anyone with that little story, because statistically, flying is the safest way to die. So... there we are. And talking of errors and disasters, let's go over now to UQ in Fishguard. That's it. Yes, thank you. So, what have you got for us this week, Hugh? Hugh?
Pickled eggs, Barry.
Yeah, let's just have your special report.
They may still live at home with their parents, but they're on their way to stardom. I am, of course, talking about local all-girl band Pop-Tarts, whose first album, Welsh Tart, hit the charts this week. It's all the brainchild of Fishguard man Ryan Epstein, brother of Brian Epstein, who used to manage the Beatles. I saw them doing PE, and I thought they looked great, he said. I don't know if they can sing or not, because I'm completely deaf. But it's looks that count in the world of popular music, and that's something that Pop-Tarts are got in spades. Move over, Spotty Spice. Here comes Cheap Car. And the girls are taking it all in their stride. It was only last month that Stupid Tart had a job for life as a currant remover at the local Welsh cake factory. But now she's a heroin addict and has attempted suicide 15 times. But what will the record-buying public think of Pop-Tarts? I went to find out. What do you think of Welsh Tart?
I enjoy it.
What do you like about it?
I like the beat.
What about the words?
Oh, I don't listen to the words.
You don't listen to them? Why not?
Well, it's the beat you dance to, not the words.
What do you like about them?
Oh, I like the different way of singing. They're comical when they sing. They're not so straight-faced as what quite a lot of pop singers are.
What do you like about the band's image?
The way they dress, different from all the others.
What do you think?
Well, they brought in a new fashion of clothes, that's one thing.
You own a record shop in Fishguard. What do you think of Pop-Tart's debut album?
It's a very good seller. The lyrics aren't bad, and it's what the teenagers go for.
What about the clothes? Quite a lot of young men have started wearing Welsh costumes now.
Well, that's what the teenagers like. Anything sordid, they like it.
Yes, the Pop-Tart phenomenon is in full swing here in Fishguard. But as usual in the world of show business, scandal is never far away, with tabloid newspapers claiming that Giant Tart, the big one at the back, is in fact a fully grown man. I asked Ugly Tart about the allegations. What about the allegations? What about the allegations? But she didn't like me and refused to be interviewed. So I went to the girl's mother and asked her opinion. What do you think of your daughters now that they're famous?
I think they're absolutely disgusting.
Do you wish they'd never been born?
Yes, I do.
Pop-Tarts, loved by millions of Fishguard teenagers, hated by their own mother. And here they are.
Well, thanks for that report, Hugh. And we've actually got a party from Fishguard in the audience tonight, haven't we? There they are. Yes, they've braved going into colour and they've come up to Cardiff. Hugh Pugh's not with you, is he? Didn't think he'd be there. He knows that Cardiff is my manor. He wouldn't risk coming into my territory. Oh, excuse me. Hello.
Hello, Barry.
Oh, hello, Hugh.
Look behind you, Barry.
What?
Just remember, Barry, I'm never far away.
Yeah, all right. Yeah. Thanks. Bye. Yeah. Moving on. Have you ever broken wind when ejaculating? Bloody embarrassing if you're sitting next to another passenger. You know, when I was a younger man, I used to masturbate a lot. Well, I say a lot is every 2 hours excessive. Had a good shine on my penis. Penis is a funny word, isn't it? Penis. Penis. The word penis was invented by a Welshman called John Thomas. Not many people know that. Now, you are watching me on television, and I often think that watching television has got a lot in common with masturbation. Because they're both things what you can do alone. They give you a lot of pleasure, and you end up covered in cum. No, that don't sound right, do it? Sorry, I made a mistake, man. Listening to the radio, I was thinking, Of course, I don't really pull myself off very much now at my age, although I did manage a quick one the other night. But I must say that the ejaculation was very pleasant. It was a very, very good orgasm. Unfortunately, I shat in the bed while I was out. That's what happens when you get old. Sorry to mention it, but, I don't know, incontinence shouldn't be swept under the carpet, should it? Good night.
Fishguard Fire Brigade took delivery of a new state-of-the-art fireproof suit today, seen here being demonstrated by leading fireman Norman Helmet. He told me that the great advantage of the new suit is that it's quick and easy to get into in an emergency. Well done, Norman. Let's hope not too many people died in the blaze while you were getting dressed. Good night. Haven't you finished feeding those mosquitoes yet, mate?
Nearly. I've had another 10 minutes.
You've got quite an appetite today. That's your 5th bar of chocolate.
Yeah, well, I'm needing for 2.
How come?
Haven't you told him the good news? Oh, he's got a tapeworm, mate. Dave, show me your tapeworm. On?
Yeah, well, right then.
Can you see him? Can you see his little face? Here, give him a rask.
Well, I'm not sure that he's hungry.
Oh, he's always hungry. Go on, just poke it up.
I'm going to be sick.
Oh, don't worry about upsetting the tapeworm, mate.
Boy.
Welcome back. The letter. Have a look. Bloody hell! £1,500? I mean, it's a bill from my wife's African dentist, Mr. Mabiki. She started seeing him a couple of weeks ago, went in for a filling, and he gave her one. No, apparently he's very good. She just said she felt a prick in her mouth, and 5 minutes later... 5 minutes later, it was rinse and spit. But £1,500, I mean, I suppose it's the house calls. Now, I didn't know that dentists did that sort of thing, but he's been round every night this week. To be fair, he's done a lot of work on her cavities. Judging from the cries coming through the partition wall. Still, he's put a nice smile on her face, so I suppose it's worth it. And now, let's go to our old friend, Gwyn. Good evening, audience, and I would like a volunteer from the audience. You. Give him a round of applause. Here he comes. Up you come. Come on. There we are. Sit yourself down with there, man. Sit yourself down. Marvellous. What's your name?
Tim.
Tim! All right, Tim. What do you do for a living, Tim?
Driver.
Not very interesting, really. OK, now, what I'm going to do, Tim, is I'm going to ask you to perform a very simple routine. I shall perform it first, and then you copy what I do. What could be simpler than that? Hey, Tim. Exactly. Nothing at all. Good. I will demonstrate now what it is I want you to do. Here we go. Now you do it.
No, thank you.
Go on, take the glass. Take the glass. There we are. There we are. Now, you probably don't think this is very amusing, do you, Tim? That's because it's happening to you and not somebody else. What are you going to do, man? What are you going to do? If you don't do it, you see, you're letting down the audience. On the other hand, if you do it, you're drinking somebody else's phlegm. You might be on the threshold of a brilliant showbiz career, or you might be about to catch some horrible disease. What's it going to be? Make your mind up now.
Disease.
Disease? You're going to go for the disease?
No.
You're not going to... Common sense prevails. Thank you very much. Tim, off you go, man. Good, good. He's a driver, never drink and drive. Absolutely right. And always remember, never wear open-toed sandals. It's cruel to toads. Thank you very much. Good night.
Did you know that there's another ARS operating?
What?
Mate?
There's another ARS.
ARS?
Yeah, talking about, mate. What's it stand for?
It's the Anne Robinson Society.
Society?
Fuck you. Anne Robinson, she's a she can right off.
What?
Are you on the back?
Get in. Anne Robinson. Don't tell you that. Say it now, you. What? Damn, Robbie.
I'm sorry about that, Dave. I completely lost it, but...
No, that's it.
Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm fine. How are you?
You
When the red flag's flying, it's not safe to go into the water, because the lifeguard has gone to the lavatory, and he'll flush it into the sea. So remember, when the red flag's up, the lifeguard's trousers are down. That was a health and safety film.
Welcome back, welcome back. Somebody sent me a bowl of fish, and what have we got here? It's a poem. Barry, 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 Barry. It would be bliss if we could marry. I know you can't fulfill my wish, so I'd like you to have this pair of fish. Although I'm nearly 83, please sniff the bowl and think of me. And that's from Mrs. Evadne Shattuck. Oh. Well, yes, if I get a blocked nose, that'll come in very handy. Thank you, Mrs. Shattuck. Thank you. Moving on.
20 Welshmen baked in a pie. When the pie was open, the Welshmen began to sing. No, wasn't that an unpleasant thing? Oh, yes, Codfield, they really did bake all those Welshmen in a pie. In those days, it was the only work an honest Welshman could get. Oh, no, Codfield, there's no such thing as a dishonest Welshman. You were thinking of Englishmen. Oh, hello, Denzil.
Do you insist, Gwyneth?
Codfield's been very clever today.
Somehow I doubt it, Gwyneth. What's he done?
He blew his nose without making any mistakes.
Oh, dear. How are it possible to make a mistake blowing your nose?
Oh, sometimes he forgets to use a hanky.
Abby.
Oh, he's doing his best, Denzil.
I know. Depressing, isn't it?
Oh, be nice to him, Denzil, or he'll think you're not pleased to have him back. Oh, I know. Why don't you read him a story like that?
Yes, all right. I'll read him a little story. Tales from Swansea and beyond. Once upon a time, a fairy lived down a lavatory in an old house. The fairy's name was Plop. And he'd been very happy down his lavatory for a long, long time. But one day, a family of people moved into the house. And quite soon, one of them, Wilf, a little boy, went upstairs to use the lavatory. And he sat on the lavatory, and this made Plop, the lavatory fairy, absolutely furious. Because not only had somebody sat on his house, but they were doing a poo on his head as well. So he flew up the bowl and he bit the little boy's bum as hard as he could. And the little boy ran screaming out of the bathroom, fell down the stairs and died. And the moral of this story are always be very, 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 very careful using the lavatory. Yes, that was quite a good idea of yours. Couldn't you feel that? Yeah. Ah, it's brilliant. Yeah, and they want me to front the whole campaign. Fantastic. What's the product? Quim. What have I got to do exactly? Oh, I see. It's CWI, the campaign for Welsh impotent men. Yeah. Quim. I'm with you. Yes. And they want me to be the face of Quim. Oh, right. So that work. So yeah, charity though. Okay, but I would get paid, wouldn't I? You know, I know it's charity, but got to live, haven't I?
Good evening. A plastic surgeon at St. Sardine's Hospital, Fishguard, is to face a public inquiry after patients complained about the quality of his work. It's being claimed that Dr. Jekyll, who is 92 and extremely short-sighted, can no longer see what he's doing.
Have I got my eyes open?
One woman said that he couldn't tell the difference between her ass and her elbow, and that a simple tummy tuck operation had left her with 7 knees on her face. I spoke to one of Dr. Jekyll's patients, Anne Robinson. Anne, Dr. Jekyll gave you a facelift 6 months ago. What sort of condition is your face in now?
It's in a disgusting condition.
What's wrong with it?
Well, what's right with it? There's nothing right with it at all.
He has offered to repair half your face at no extra charge. But do you think it's a bit late for that?
The repairs have been they've gone so badly now that they really become beyond repair.
Will you have it done again? Another facelift would cost you £250.
Oh, for 250 pence, I wouldn't.
Anne Robinson there, who will have to spend the rest of her life with a face like a bag of spanners. Huge crowds gathered today in Fishguard to watch the huge crowd which had gathered to watch a huge crowd gathering. There were huge crowds, said a spokesman for Fishguard Police. A local vineyard owned by Mayor of Fishguard, Mr. Kenny Twat, has produced its first batch of wine. Chateau Myself is described as a strongly flavoured grey wine with a powerful bouquet, reminiscent of the farmyard. Mr. Twat said that the wine would go down well with any sort of food, but he refused to guarantee that it would stay down. And finally, do you dance like a pillock? A lot of men do. But don't worry, a brand new invention means that from now on, even Fred Astaire, who's been dead for more than 200 years, could get down and boogie. It's all the brainchild of Professor Zip Fastener, an expert in trouser physics at Fishguard College of Technology, who's come up with what are quite literally dancing trousers. Professor Fastener claims that the trousers, seen here being tested for Latin American rhythms, can make even the biggest grebo look like Jean Kelly, whoever she is. Whatever next. The end of this news desk, actually. Good night.
Hello? I've given up smoking. While I'm performing oral sex, anyway. Because there's nowhere to put a cigarette, is there? I tried balancing it on the edge of a minge. But it fell in and I couldn't light it again. And you can't leave it in your mouth or you'll set fire to a pubic hair. As I discovered. But I don't want to talk about oral sex. That sort of thing just leaves a bad taste in your mouth. Good night. Well, now it's time to meet the man with the coracle from Colwyn Bay, the man with the 100% success rate of failure. Yes! Please welcome our old friend, Mr. Geraint Pillock. Geraint, welcome to the show, Geraint. I won't ask you how the trip to Mars went. I think we'd have seen something on the news if it had been successful. And this week, I see you've set yourself an even harder task. This week, you're actually going to attempt to paddle your coracle back in time. Now, I think most people think that time travel is impossible, but that doesn't seem to put you off. Why? Why is this?
Mainly because it's a challenge. First of all, it's a challenge for me. Secondly, it's a challenge for the coracle. And again, it's a personal challenge for me to keep the coracle and the tradition alive. And another reason I got is because it has been done before.
What? Time travel? In a coracle? Oh, come on. I mean, Geraint, even Doctor Who had a telephone box. And he didn't exist. But leaving aside the fact that you aren't going to be going anywhere or any when... Let's suppose that you were going to go back in time 1,000 years, say, to the last millennium. How long do you reckon that journey through time would take you in a coracle?
Could take anything from between 12 and 50 hours.
So a little bit of leeway, then. Anyway, finally, Geraint, are you looking forward to doing a bit of time travel? Or are you looking backwards, perhaps? Or are you thinking anything at all? It's hard to tell with you, really, isn't it? But you do seem quite optimistic.
Oh, very optimistic. Yeah. I will do it.
Yeah.
Talking on a long-term view, I will do it.
Long-term, yes.
But I'm hoping to do it this first time.
Yeah, well, if you don't do it first time, you can always go back in time and do it again. It'll still be the first time, won't it? Now, I know that the audience would appreciate it, Geraint. Perhaps you'd just like to remind us all why you're going to attempt to travel backwards in time in a coracle.
Mainly because it's a challenge.
Geraint, Good luck to you in the future. Even without a time machine, I think I already know that you've got another failure coming up. Ladies and gentlemen, Geraint Pillock. Let's take a break.
Tired of running over hedgehogs? Why not get a hog bridge? It's easy to install and only costs £5,685 plus VAT and value-added tax. Don't hedge your bets. Bet on your hedgehog with a hog bridge.
Hello. Welcome to Round the Back with an Iron Illness. What is it that plants really like? That's right. Shit. Oh, I don't bother with the toilet anymore. I just come out into the garden, drop my trousers, and have a good hard cock. Why don't you do the same? Hip again.
Denzil,
Miss Kenneth?
how do blue bottles do such enormous poo?
What?
Well, I saw a blue bottle on a piece of poo that was about 500 times bigger than it.
I expect it was dog poo, Gwyneth.
But we haven't got a dog.
Gwyneth, where did you see this poo with a blue bottle on it?
In the wardrobe.
Cuddle? Do you know anything about the poo in the wardrobe? Cudville, what in Swansea the matter with you? Why can't you do your business in the lavatory like everybody else?
Well, yeah, there, Denzil, he's afraid of the lavatory fairy, and that's all your fault. You shouldn't have read him that story.
Couldn't you ask me to read him a story? If Cudville had daft enough to take it literally. That's not my fault, it's Cudville. Lavatory fairies do not exist. Yes, I know it was in a book written down, but that don't mean it at all.
Oh, that's a good question, Denzil. What are the point of learning to read if what's in books are just made up?
Not everything in books are made up, just some of the things.
Well, how can you tell the difference?
You just know, you can tell. Honestly, it's like talking to somebody from the rill.
No. I'm not convinced either, Codfield.
Look, here are an encyclopedia. Right. Ouagadougou. Ouagadougou, a town in West Africa, population 442,000. There, Ouagadougou exists, and lavatory fairies do not exist.
But how do you know they do not exist?
Because I've never seen one.
Have you ever seen Ouagadougou?
No, I haven't. No.
Well, I think Codwell are quite right not to use the lavatory. And I shan't be using it anymore either.
Codville, you know those monkeys at the zoo?
Yeah.
Did you eat them all?
Yeah.
There's 2 left. Good. Well, I shall have a little bit of company then.
Where are you going, Denzil?
To the zoo, Gwyneth, where I shall be moving in with the monkeys. I know that people will stare at me all day, but at least it'll be a lot more hygienic than this place. And the conversation will be better as well. Goodbye. Hello, welcome to the show. And this is the week that internationally a blazing house was put out by a passing rugby team. Returning from a win against Swansea. Yes, we've got some people in the audience tonight. But the fire brigade still had to be called to pump out nearly 500 gallons of urine. Yes. Which reminds me, it's time for Hugh Pugh in Fishguard. I've got a joke for you, Hugh. A joke.
Joke?
Yeah.
It'll be the first funny thing you've ever said, you gland.
Yes, well, it is quite funny, actually. What's black and white and can't be seen?
I don't know. What is black and white and can't be seen?
You and your special reports, unless you're going to colour.
What?
Yes, the Barry Welsh's coming producer thought that black and white didn't quite suit the look of the programme, so unless you're in colour, you're off the...
You bastard! This is your idea, you bastard! You bastard!
Now then, Hugh, it's colour, not colourful language the producer wanted.
But this is the most popular part of the show!
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. Ask the audience.
Yes! All right. Is Hugh Pugh's reports the most popular part of the show?
Yes!
There we are, then. I was right. They're not.
You bastard! They said yes!
Anyway, I've got quite a bit to do, Hugh, and so have you, if you want to stay on the programme, so I should get on with it, if you don't mind. Bye. Yes?
How long have we got?
About 5 minutes.
You bastard!
Over to Hugh Pugh now for a very special report from Fishguard.
Fishguard is in a somber mood today. Following news that the town is finally to go into colour, bringing it into line with the rest of Wales.
The decision to change from black and white was made after an ultimatum from the makers of the so-called television programme Barry Welsh is Coming, but is supported by Mayor of Fishguard, Mr. Kelly Twat, who says that it will bring the town into whatever century it is we're in at the moment. But not everybody wants to live in the 19th century, as I found out.
What do you think about Fishguard going into colour?
Well, I think it's a shame, and as far as I'm personally concerned, I hope it won't happen.
What about you?
I think it's ridiculous.
Pamela Anderson, what do you think about going into colour?
I think it's bad for people's nerves and myself. Well, so is everything else these days.
Yeah. What do you think of Barry Welsh and all that lot in Cardiff making Fishguard go into colour?
I think they're absolutely disgusting.
You hope that Barry Welsh will fall into an open sewer and get eaten by rats?
Yes, I do.
So do I. Some local residents have even formed an ad hoc committee to keep Fishguard in black and white. I spoke to its chairman, Trevor MacDonald. Mr. MacDonald, you must be very disappointed by what's happening.
I'm quite disappointed.
You think your committee can do anything to stop the change?
Well, I don't know. See, well, they told us the scenery would be about 3 in 3 weeks' time.
No, it's happening today. Did they say 3 weeks? It's Kenny Twat. He's deliberately misled you. Mr. Twat's view is that being in colour will bring in more tourists. So, it's ironic that Fishguard is seeing its busiest weekend ever as people from all over Britain seize their last opportunity to be in black and white. Where are you from?
Crewe.
What?
Crewe, Cheshire.
What do you think about being in black and white?
Oh, it's marvellous.
What do you think of the black and white?
Very nice.
Where are you from?
Bristol.
Watch out for that chicken, laddie! Well, that's about it. The bells of St. Sardine's Church will toll to warn us when the change is due. It's the end of an individual way of life. The wanton destruction of individuality in pursuit of the holy grail of sameness. I'm pink! Satisfied, Barry?
Here's a tip. When you are dealing with tomato ketchup, it's best to shake the bottle before taking the top off. See? Easy enough, lad. And that way, we don't get any trouble. Ah, well, didn't really want ketchup anyway.
Yes, welcome back. And somebody's sent me a parcel. So, do you want to... Oh, no. Look. I mean, really, what... Why have they... Yeah. Oh, that's a note. Let's have a look. Dear Barry, a couple of mornings ago I was on the lavatory... and I must have strained a bit too hard. Because I shat my own skull out. Oh. As you can imagine, I now look quite strange. And I was wondering if I could appear on your programme to launch my show business career as the man with the floppy head. Yours sincerely, Shenkin Arscandal. Yes, we've heard from him before. And now for a bit of arse. Animal Rescue Squad, that is.
Here's a nice little fish pond. Couple of carp. Kinch. I think that's a squid over there.
Yeah, but what's it going to be like in winter when this lot is frozen solid? You know, this attractive little ornamental pond is a potential death trap.
Dave's right. Well, you don't have to watch your little wet friends die a horrible, agonising, screaming death.
No. A couple of pints of antifreeze applied before the weather turns cold will keep your pond a happy and healthy place all year round.
What have you done to my fish?
That's all right, mate. It's free service.
Let's go over to Fishguard and see how they're getting on in colour.
Thanks, Barry. Well, there's total confusion here in Fishguard as people struggle to make sense of what has happened. An unexpected consequence of the change has been widespread vomiting, as friends and relatives have seen each other in colour for the first time. And there have been more serious casualties. Sailors competing in the Bilth Wells to Fishguard yacht race thought they'd come to the wrong place and ran aground on the notorious Punk Rocks. And the owner of this sofa was so appalled when he saw it in colour that he set fire to it. Some local residents have even tried to sweep the colour out of their houses. But apart from a perfectly natural desire to kill Barry Welsh, people have resigned themselves to what is, for many of them, a personal tragedy. You looked all right in black and white, but quite frankly, in colour, you looked pretty horrible. How do you feel about that?
Naturally, very upset and very sad.
Yeah, but you reckon it had to happen?
It has been inevitable for many years that this would happen. It doesn't lessen the sadness of it.
How are you coping?
Well, I don't think it's really sunk in properly, you know, because we've had it in the district around and never thought it would ever come really home to us here.
Sorry,
but
I'm going to throw up. It's all the colours.
I'm really, I don't know, I'm speechless. I can't.
Yeah, hasn't stopped you talking now, has it? That's the situation here in Fishguard. It makes you want to paint your eyeballs black. Hello. I have to use a fairly strong aftershave. See, this afternoon I had a bath. It took me about 2 hours to get into the bath. And then the moment I was sitting there in the water, I wanted a poo. And I thought, bollocks.
Took me 2 hours to get in. Take me 2 hours to get out. Another 2 hours to get back in again. I might not have that long to live. So I decided to stay where I was. I thought, when the poo arrives, I'll grab it and fling it out here. Unfortunately, I'd had a curry the night before. And before you could say, Anne Robinson, I was in a worse state than before I got in the bloody bathroom. And the smell, Well, I was sick then, wasn't I? So not only am I covered in shit, I'm also covered in sick. And as if that wasn't enough, Mrs. Bowen hadn't cleaned the bath after shaving her legs. So I was covered in little tiny hairs as well. And I sat there and I thought, well, it could be worse. At least I've still got my dignity. By the way, if there's any children watching, disinfectant isn't for putting on your face. It's for drinking. Good night.
Hello. Hello? Yes? Yes. Tell him now. And we've just heard that the controller of HTV Wales, Lord Ellis Owen of Culverhouse Cross, has decreed that Fishguard should go back into black and white. He said that in a country where 2 languages were spoken, it was appropriate that there should also be 2 ways of seeing things. He added that as he was colourblind, he wouldn't notice the difference anyway. Today saw the official opening of the new Fishguard to Fishguard rail link, which is expected to shorten journey times by as much as 100%. However, train operator Fishrail say that the trains will not be stopping at Fishguard. Scientists at Fishguard College of Technology believe that they have found conclusive proof that eating makes you get bigger. In a sophisticated experiment, the rhinoceros on the left was fed, and the one on the right wasn't. I'm convinced. Reports are just coming in of a derailment on the new Fishguard to Fishguard rail link, opened only this afternoon. Accident investigators at the scene say that safety standards had been compromised because train operator Fishrail had tried to cut corners. The derailed locomotive had in fact been trying to cut a corner to save time when the accident happened. A restaurant that sells the cheapest meals in Wales has opened in Fishguard. Salmonella's, owned by sisters Sam and Ella Vomit, make no secret of the fact that the secret of their ultra-low prices is only to use condemned meat, which they boil in disinfectant to kill the germs, before making it into delicious stroganoffs and meat flaps. And if the odd bug does sneak through, Sam and Ella offer unlimited use of their lavatories, with toilet paper thrown in. And finally, Fishguard all-girl band Pop-Tart's new record, Welsh Tart, has broken all records by selling a record 6 billion records since it was released. And that's a record. Good night.
Pop-Tarts there with their new smash hit. But they're being challenged for the #1 slot by our old friend, Mr. Geraint Pillock. Up you come, Geraint, welcome. Welcome to the show. Now, what's your new single called, Geraint?
Mainly because it's a challenge.
Of course, what else could it be? So, let's hear Mainly Because It's a Challenge from Mr. Geraint Pillock.
This is a test. This is a test.
Yo, MC.
This is a test.
Yo, MC.
And again, and again, mainly because it's a challenge. Mainly because it's a challenge. Challenge. Mainly because it's a challenge. Challenge. could be very dangerous. It could be very dangerous. And again, it could be very dangerous. On the other hand, it can be alright. It can be alright. It all depends on the weather. Been in and out of the corridor since I was a kid. Mainly because it's a challenge. Mainly because it's a challenge. And again. Mainly because it's a challenge. And again. Mainly because it's a challenge. And again. Mainly because it's a challenge.
Ask control to ask mobile. Ask control to ask mobile. Come in, ask mobile.
Ask mobile to ask control, receiving you over.
Ask mobile. Attendance urgently required at Oak Lane Stables. Reported incident of a horse, repeat, a horse, stuck up a tree. Emergency status, code 9 blue.
Message received, ask control, we're on our way. Code 9 blue, Dave.
Code 9 blue it is.
You get many calls about horses up trees.
Well, suppose over a 12-month period.
That's confidential information, mate.
Confidential? Why's that?
Because, mate, how do you think you're going to win the trust of an animal if it knows you're going to blab its medical history all over the place? Of course, if I was Rolf Harris, I wouldn't think twice. Oh, no. It's a wasp.
I didn't see him, mate. He just flew straight out in front of the van.
No, you mustn't blame yourself, Dave, even though it was your fault.
Better get the shovel.
I think this is a job for the spoon, Dave. Wait a minute, Dave. I've got an idea. Something I saw them doing Casualty.
On what?
Casualty. Get him into the recovery position.
Kendall does it. You will. We'll save you. Why did you fly out without looking before you crossed the road?
Right, what I'm going to do here is use these jumpers to try and restart the wasp's heart. It's called defibrillation, and it's a technique that's never been applied to a wasp before. Check his airways, Dave.
Airways okay?
Stand clear.
Clear.
Wish me luck.
Well, good luck.
Hello, Dandy.
Yeah. Your homemade jam is improving, you know.
Dave Daly is attempting to restart the heart of a wasp using jump leads attached to a car battery. A technique that has never been tried before.
I think I can hear him buzzing. I think he's going to pull through. Yes! No! Oh!
I think we lost him.
No! Farewell, little buzzer. Sting an angel for me.
He's taking it hard.
Not as hard as you hit that wasp, though, eh?
You've never run over an animal, have you, mate? You don't know what it's like. No, I ran over a dragonfly once. I was off work for 6 months. I asked for trauma counselling. They laughed in my face. Well, they weren't laughing when someone shat through their letterbox that evening. Dave, what's going on? What are you doing, mate?
Run me over, mate.
What?
Just run me over, drive right over my head. I'm a wasp murderer. I don't deserve to live.
Dave, now you listen to me. I know what you're going through, mate, but when I ran over that dragonfly, did I commit suicide?
I don't know, mate. I wasn't there.
No, I did not commit suicide. Because I had one thing to live for, and that one thing was ass. And since then, I live, I breathe, I eat ass. Dave, look at me. What do you see?
Ass.
That's right, mate. Now, you think of all those animals that need your help.
Like that horse that's stuck up a tree.
The horse! The horse! Let's go! Come on, boys, let's go! Oh, the fucking batteries!
Hello. Welcome to Round the Back with an Iron Anus. I'm often asked, Anira, how do you keep flies off your plums? Yes, and the answer is minge. Flies find minge irresistible. So if you put a nice healthy bush in your orchard, your plums should stay nice and firm. That's all for this week. Keep digging.
Hello. Today at 5 o'clock, legal history will be made when Fishguard becomes the first town in Britain to legalise prostitution. Today at 5 o'clock, these men will be going for a hole-in-one of a different kind. Today at 5 o'clock, gay Constable Dim Thomas will be handling a helmet of a different style. Today at 5 o'clock. But at the moment, it's only 2:30, so I've just got time to give you the story before 5 o'clock. Right, it's all to do with tourism. The decision to turn Fishguard into an official red light district was made by local councillor Mr. Gwynfor Prevert, chairman of the Leisure and Amenities Committee, now known as the Pleasure and Immense Titties Committee. Preparation for the big day have been going on for months and started with the recruitment of the trainee tarts. No shortage of volunteers in Fishguard. Good looks are not the only requirement, and this farmer's wife will find her knowledge of livestock very useful with the kinkier customers. They're keen and fit, but they've got to know all the positions as well. And that includes the boys. After 3 months with Bobby Bumgarden, these members of the Welsh Language Homosexual Society will know their sexual technique from top to bottom. It's a lot to learn, and these girls make sure they don't forget their lessons by practicing those hand movements that'll earn them £15 a time, after a senior lecturer has used a ketchup bottle to give them some idea of what they'll be handling. On hand as well, to give a bit of advice, are some of the oldest members of the oldest profession still working, illegally of course, in Cardiff. Hedda Gobbler, do you think that the inexperience of the Fishguard prostitutes will be a problem?
No, I don't think that.
No, perhaps it's a good thing that they're young and enthusiastic. Do you think that the punters prefer a younger girl? You know, somebody under 75?
Oh, no. Mine don't.
So it looks like the personnel will be ready. But what about the equipment? Every mattress in Fishguard is rigorously tested and will be ready for action. And council officials personally check the bewildering array of sexual appliances available in the shops. Some of the devices are more complex and have to be operated by professionals like Samantha Anus.
This is a vibrator. It doesn't hurt. It's very pleasant.
Ah, very nice. And what's that thing down there?
Now, this is like a vacuum sweeper. It's a suction machine. It draws...
Yeah. Well, there we are. Everything's ready, and at 5 o'clock tea time, there'll be plenty of crumpet in Fishguard. So join me later, when I'll be reporting live from Fishguard's first official sex club, Tittos. See you then.
It's now more than 5 hours since the emergency call from Oak Lane stables about the horse stuck up a tree. A passing motorist has towed Dave and Dave to the scene of the incident.
Where's the horse, mate?
It's over there.
Why wasn't that horse up a tree?
Well, it took so long to get here, we called out the RSPCA. They got him down with a lump of sugar.
The RSPCA, those clowns.
Do you hear what a lump of sugar will do to a horse's teeth?
You got anything else up a tree?
No.
Come on, Dave, this drongo's just wasting our time.
Is that the tree?
Yeah.
Right. That's a horse hazard. That tree is coming down. All these trees are coming down because I'm coming back here tomorrow with a chainsaw. You're thinking about horses, you know. All about horses, you fucking have you. Time.
Hello, and welcome back. Well, in just 2 minutes at 5 o'clock, prostitution will be completely legal here in Fishguard. And all day, huge numbers of sex tourists have been pouring into town. Some of them are quite well known. The atmosphere is tense but relaxed, which don't make any sense at all. But who cares, because we're all gonna get our end away tonight. And there's the mayor of Fishguard, Mr. Kenny Twat, cutting the nickel elastic. And all over Fishguard, the prostitutes appear. For those on a tight budget, Crab Street is the place to go. But if money's no object and you're into group sex in a big way, get yourself round the back of the train factory. Kinky requests are no problem. If you're the sort of bloke who thinks a pair of legs is one leg too many, we've got just the girl for you. And if you prefer a home visit, former window cleaner Pam upstairs offers a discreet and comprehensive personal service. Your windows will need cleaning after the visit from Pam. Here's the mobile brothel. Pay as you enter and no questions asked. I'm here in Tito's Sex Club, where an enthusiastic audience have been enjoying a trouser-bursting performance from the erotic bicycle girls. And if you think the handlebar dance is exciting, you should have seen them blowing up the tyres without using a bicycle pump. But now it's nearly 6 o'clock, so let's see how the punters who've come from all over Britain have been getting on. And who they've been getting on. You've just driven all the way from Ipswich to visit Britain's first legal brothel. What time did you get there?
5:45 we got there.
And how did you spend the time?
Sleeping, I've been driving since 12 o'clock this morning.
Ah, bad luck. Still, there's always the dog, I suppose. Not your wife, I mean. You know. Are you from far away? Crewe. Cheshire. And did you enjoy being tossed off?
Oh, it's marvellous.
Yes, it looks as though the whole scheme, and I don't mean that in a dirty way, has been a great success. The Vickers have enjoyed somebody else being defrocked for a change. Fishguard's oldest resident have tried his first homosexual kiss, and the girls on the mobile brothel have earned a small fortune. They're all under 25, by the way, but they've been very busy. This is Hugh Pugh and Fishguard.
Hello. Welcome to Round the Back with an Iron In. I've just spent a lovely morning watching a pair of tits in the garden. That's all for this week. Keep digging.
It's midnight, and Dave and Dave have just pushed their van 14 miles back to the trauma centre, which is based in Dave Webster's mum's kitchen.
This hasn't been a very good day for you, has it?
No, well, you get good days and you get bad days, you know.
But yesterday wasn't a good day either, was it? I'm thinking of the cockatoo.
Yeah, well, everything's got to die sometime.
Like that wasp today.
The wasp. We left his body by the side of the road.
No.
Why do a hoover suck?
Because it hasn't got any teeth. Whoa. Last night, I slept like a baby. Woke up and discovered I'd weed the bed. And I panicked a bit because for a moment I couldn't remember where I was. I wasn't sure if I was in my own bed at home or somebody else's bed in somebody else's home. Then I got my bearings, and fortunately it was somebody else's bed. But I must have passed a substantial amount of wee-wee if I brought down the ceiling of the room below. It's embarrassing, man. I didn't know what to do. So I set fire to the bed and left. My only excuse was that I'd been asleep when it happened. Obviously, because if I'd been awake, I'd have been masturbating. Which is actually against doctor's orders for me, because a few weeks ago I sprained my penis quite badly running for a bus. You shouldn't masturbate running for a bus, I know. But what was I supposed to do? The bus was coming and so was I. Good night.
Hello, and welcome to the Lookout Wales news desk. Plans to hold an annual Fishguard Rock Festival annually every year have been abandoned following the poor turnout at this year's festival. It was all the brainchild of local rock musician Richard Cliff, seen here playing on the cliffs. Where else could be better to hold an open-air rock festival than on the rockiest bit of coastline in West Wales, he thought. Well, anywhere else, quite frankly, because nobody has turned up, including the rest of Richard's band. Even this chap failed to give it the seal of approval. Richard Cliff, you'd better get used to playing with yourself. And it's another first from the scientists at Fishguard College of Technology, who have developed braille cows to help blind farmers about their work.
Oh, that's a tail,
Oh, goodness me, what is my wife doing here?
The Queen was in Fishguard today to officially open brand new holiday camp, Carseyland. It's all the brainchild of local man Keith Carsey, who is only too happy to show Her Majesty round the magnificent facilities. Yes. And touch her on the arm, which didn't go down at all well, particularly when he tried to put his hand up her skirt later on. But if Her Majesty wasn't pleased, everybody else was. And within 2 hours, every one of these fabulous chalets was home to a family of delighted holidaymakers. No need to book, just turn up at your own convenience. And finally, the Kenny Twat Award for Public Service has been won by Mayor of Fishguard, Mr. Kenny Twat, for the 3rd year running. The award, set up 3 years ago by Mayor of Fishguard, Mr. Kenny Twat, recognises outstanding achievement in the capacity of Mayor of Fishguard. Mr. Twat, the chairman of the award committee, said he was delighted and very honoured to win the Kenny Twat Award. The Kenny Twat Award is sponsored by Mayor of Fishguard, Mr. Kenny Twat. Good night.
Well, there we are. That's the end of the show. But before we go, I want to say that I'm not a big homo. And I'm saying that because someone has been writing Barry Welsh is a big homo on toilet walls. I've seen it myself in the Gents at Cardiff Gay Club. Yes, wasn't there on Friday, but I saw it on Saturday. Now, I don't mind gossip. As a matter of fact, I like a bit of tittle-tattle, particularly the tittle. But if this rumour takes hold, I'll have gay men badgering me all the time, and I just... don't want that. Come on. I've got nothing against gay men, and I want to keep it that way. Thank you very much. Good night.
Put your left leg in. Come on, man. Got you. Are you? What do you think of the Barry Welsh show?
Well, is it decent? Is it decent? And you asked me that, you answered me that question. Is it decent? I don't think it is.
What do you think they should do about it then?
Ban it. Definitely.